I want to tell you a story of when I met this person in my life. So, I have this funny story. So I started dating this guy named Don, and his real name was Rajim, but he went by the word Don. He named himself Don, and his last name was Pickering. So his real name was Rajim Pickering. Well, anyway, he was about 35 years old, and he came here from the city, and he was in teen challenge, and so he escaped teen challenge. So he just ran away from them, and then he just like found an abandoned house and just was staying in an abandoned house. Well, anyway, he was walking all over town one time, and he had a real southern drawl in his voice, and so he had that Alabama accent. And anyway, so he was in town looking for a job, looking all over town for a job, and it was pretty funny. He was like going, he was just going from place to place looking for a job, and then he ran into me that day. He was looking for a job, and he came up to me and said something funny. And it was pretty funny. I mean, I don't know if I can repeat it, but but anyway, he was talking about his body parts. And anyway, I could probably say it later what he said. But I guess, okay, I'll just say it. He said he had like a 12-inch and he knew how to use it or something. He said something silly like that. And then I said, well, I care more about your mind than your body, is what I said. So I said something innocent back to him. And so he liked the fact that that I said something innocent. So he thought I was pretty cool. So he decides at that moment when I said I liked his mind better than his body, he grabbed onto me like, you were my girlfriend, like instant. Like, it was so funny. It was just like, he was sort of like, okay, I feel like the way he grabbed onto me, it was like he felt like he was in a foreign town. He was a foreigner. He didn't fit in here. And I said something nice to him, and he just grabbed me like, you will be my girlfriend now. And I was like, okay. I thought he looked like a tall basketball player, so I was into that. So anyway, later I had a nickname for Don Rajim. He had 2 gold teeth in front, so I'd call him Gold Teeth. So anyway, it's just we had a funny relationship, and this is our first day. So he grabs onto me. Okay, you're gonna be my girlfriend, and then he decides he's just gonna be silly, and so like I'm crossing the street, and he's just smacking my butt all the way across the street, and I'm like, oh my goodness, is anyone seeing us? It was like really funny. And anyway, he's following me around constantly, and I'm like, well, this is kind of fun. But then on the other hand, I was in the middle of getting my pictures taken because my friend was coming from Paris to come meet me. Someone I met on the internet, on Plenty of Fish. And so I was like, I told Rajim, I said, I'm doing a makeover today because I'm sending my picture to someone who's going to visit me from Paris. And I'm like, so I can't really go out with you, because someone is coming to see me. Well, he acted like I never even said that. And he was just like, I'm going to follow you around anyway. So he's following me all around town while I get my hair done, I get my makeup, and I'm taking these pictures to send to my guy that I'm supposed to be dating in Paris. And oh my goodness. So he's following me around. I'm like, okay, And every time we would eat something, he would be like, oh, it made me feel like he was institutionalized his whole life, because every time he would eat something, he would get so excited. It was like he never had it before. Like sushi. It seemed like he'd never had sushi before. So he was like super excited. everything we'd ate, he'd get super excited. And I'm like, wow, I just love his excitement. And we just want to keep getting him stuff, you know. He was just super thrilled. And it was like he never had a vegan meal or something too, like the whole vegan thing. And he was loving it. You could tell he was just so excited. And I loved his joy, you know. And so he did kind of, you know, have a dirty mind, I guess you could say. And so we go into a store in Pahoa, and he's trying to get naughty with me in the dressing room. Well, I didn't want to get to that. That wasn't me, you know. So I'm like jumping out of the dressing room. I'm really embarrassed. I'm jumping out as fast as I can, you know. And then like the person that was working there, she's like, "It's okay. It's okay." She's like, "It's okay. It's a sexy boutique." So she like wasn't giving us a hard time. I was like, "Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. I didn't want that, you know." And so anyway, he ends up just staying with me and going home with me that night. And I was like, okay, whoa, you know, I hadn't dated anyone for a while. So I was kind of ready to give something a try for sure, you know. So he follows me home and we start a relationship. And anyway, it was a cool relation. It was an interesting relationship, you know, and twists and turns. And well, anyway, there was a lot to say about that relationship, but it started that day. We made it for 6 months. So anyway, that's the beginning of my story with gold teeth. Aloha.